Bosco Campus Vision. You are watching the YouTube channel of Kottayam Don Bosco College. I am Raniar, Assistant Professor, Postgraduate Department of English. In this lecture series, I am dealing the paper Methodology and Perspectives of Humanities, which is a core paper for 6th semester BA English students. This is the 7th lecture of the series. So let me begin with Literature and Linguistics. We have great literature from many countries of the world that entertain, enlighten and teach life lessons. They have brought human emotions and happenings of the earlier eras in words to the coming generations and learn and compare the art of human life in the previous century and the years to come. So, what is actually literature? Literature is feeling and thought in black and white. So, this is actually an answer to the question, what is literature? It is, in this answer, it is explained that it is the feeling and thought in black and white. Why black and white? Maybe black from the past and white from the present. So it is the feeling and thought. Literature discusses about life. And the second one is, literature is the use of language to evoke a personal response in the reader or the listener. So through literature, by using language, the writer is evoking a personal response in the reader or the listener. And when it comes to the third definition, literature is a world of fantasy, horror, feeling, vision, etc. put into words. So while reading a literary piece, we are going through the world of fantasy, horror or feeling, vision. So this vision is presented through words. And then comes to the fourth point, literature means to meet many people, to know different points of view, ideas, thoughts and minds, to know ourselves better. So when we read more, the thinking level expands. So literature means to meet many people, to know different points of view. So while you go through several books, you are going through different points of view or ideas or thoughts, and through that you are trying to know yourself. We have a number of literary writers in Britain, America, India and all over the world. Literature plays a part in developing language abilities in the reader. So this language and literature, they are interrelated. The content in literature comes out of creative use of language and ideas to put forward its themes. So how the writers present literature before us? It is through language. So through creative use of language, they put forward its themes or certain ideas. So its genre could be poetry, short story, drama and novels which exhibit thought from the subjective view of the writer. So in literature, the genre may be different, poetry, short story, drama, novel, etc. So that the writer exhibit thought from the subjective point of view. Then, good literature is rich in figures of speech such as simile, metaphor, paradox, hyperbole, and which arouse the imagination of the reader and add to his language abilities. So, when you go through a fine piece of literary work, you can see certain similes, metaphors, paradox or hyperbole, some like figures of speech. So why do the writers use these figures of speech? In order to arouse the imagination of the readers. And a vigilant reader finds it interesting to draw meanings from layered text filled with ambiguous usage. So, in literary textbooks, we can see the creative or ambiguous usage of language. And literature is a potent weapon capable of instigating change. As literature is the source of information about human psyche, life and coexistence of all living in the universe. So through literature, we are actually learning human life itself. In the case of language, so studies in language and linguistics examine how human communication takes place. So why do we use language? To learn or to make communication easier. So language is a medium through which great ideas are expressed and analyzed. It functions as a structure and it is broken into different substructures. So like in the case of English language, phonemes or sounds, it is considered as the fundamental substructure. And phonetics and phonology, they are also substructures. And these are the subjects that deal with the articulation of speech sounds or phonemes. And sociolinguists studied on the basis of the subjectivity of the speaker, and psycholinguists constitute language acquisition and related conundrums. So now let's check another important discipline come under the category of humanities or social science, that is philosophy. So philosophy, etymologically the word philosophy means love of wisdom. It studies the problems related to human existence. It also studies knowledge, truth, beauty, mind and language of the people. So simply we can say that philosophy studies the problems related to human beings. And it also seeks to understand the miseries of existence and also reality. It examines the relationship between humanity, nature, individual and society, and it is a form of inquiry or a process involving analysis, criticism, interpretation and speculation. So through philosophy, actually it tries to discover the nature of truth and knowledge to find what is of basic value and importance in life. So that is philosophy. Next one is performing arts. Performing arts, as you know, so all the different forms of arts which was staged on a particular auditorium stage, that is come under the category of performing arts. Performing arts falls under humanities. So it can be various like dance, music, opera, theatre, magic or circus. And here artists make use of their body or voice to convey artistic expressions. So when we taken into consideration of performing arts, in the case of dance, artists use their body to convey certain expressions. And art forms are immensely powerful media which can revive human mind of its base emotions and elevate man to a higher level of thought and emotion. So that is why through this art form we can make a change or we can make a move on a man. And art forms have a powerful impact upon human psyche. So that is why it is said that these performing arts have close relations with humanities. Next one, we have political science. Political science studies various forms of governments, political parties, election systems, public administration, and international relations. And it is closely related to disciplines like economics, history, law, philosophy, and sociology. Actually, social scientists have a great role to play in improving the efficiency of various government operations. And the relevance of political science has increased many folds in the democratic setup. The Greek philosophers like Aristotle and Plato, they stress the importance of political science as a branch of studies. So this task is achieved by politicians and governments through their scientific work. Which task? The task of maintaining peace in the country. It is a paramount importance. So through political science, this task is achieved by politicians and also government officials. And the last one we have cultural studies. Cultural studies is a scholarly discipline that seeks to understand, critique and transform cultural practices. And this domain is also under the category of humanities. Culture studies concern itself with practices and the meaning they actually lend to everyday life. Culture studies examines cultural practices more in relation to power. It looks at cultural objects and finds connections to larger political powers. Actually, this culture studies emerged into a global movement covering a wide range of disciplines. And capitalism and globalization are spreading. And it was during that time their impact at local levels and the resistance put forward by smaller communities. These are all the topic covered under the discipline of cultural studies. Actually, cultural studies tries to understand culture in all its complex forms and also analyzes social and political context in which culture manifests itself. So, with this I am concluding today. As we have discussed, all these different disciplines has a strong relation to humanities or social science. So thank you dear students for patiently listening. See you in the next class. Have a nice time.